Good evening, class. Tonight we're going to look at lattice multiplication, which is just really another tool that we need to put into our toolbox as mathematicians. What we're really trying to show is that there's many ways to come up with the correct solution. Many of us believe that the traditional method is the most efficient method, and Mr. Heck tends to agree with those that agree with that. But there's other students that begin to really appreciate the partial products method for its ability to break problems into easier to handle multiplication problems and really see the value and the emphasis that's put on place value. Today we're going to look at the lattice method of multiplication. Let's go again and get started with our first math problem. Let's multiply 3 times 45. And when we do lattice multiplication, it's important that we create a cell. And all a cell is, it's a big rectangle, or it's a big block. And we can see that 45, that's a 2-digit number. So we're going to go ahead and write 45 at the top of our cell, and we're going to split now our cell in half. So we write 45 on the top and 3 on the side, and we split our cell in half. And then we take a dotted line and we split both of our cells in half from the top right hand corner all the way through the bottom left hand corner. Our next step is to isolate math facts. For instance, our first math fact is 5 times 3, or 3 times 5. And all fourth graders know that 5 times 3, or 3 times 5, is 15. So we write our 1 and our 5 in the correct places in the cell. Our next math fact is 4 times 3, or 3 times 4. And because we're fourth graders and we know our math facts very well, we write in 12. We write a 1 into the correct cell and 2 into the correct cell. As our last step, we begin to pull out the numbers in the cells to form our final solution, or our product. So first we take our 5 and we drop it down and we write our 5 in the ones place. Next we look in the tens place and we see that we have 1 and 2. So we add 1 plus 2, and that would give us 3 tens. So in the tens place, in the product, we write 3. Finally, we look to the hundreds place and we see that we're just left with 1. So we have 100 and we write our 1 in the hundreds place. So our final product is 135. So we write our answer as 135. Don't worry if this first example was a bit confusing or misleading. Hopefully with more practice we can really hammer down the lattice method. So let's go ahead and try and multiply 7 times 89. Our first step is to create a cell, and we write our 2-digit number at the top, 89. Next we write 7 on the side, and we split our cell in half because 89 is a 2-digit number. In order to set the problem up correctly, we draw dotted lines from the top right hand corner all the way to the bottom left hand corner outside of our cell. The first math fact is 9 times 7. We know that 9 times 7 is 63. We write our 6 in the tens place, our 3 in the ones place. Next we ask ourselves, what is 8 times 7? And as fourth graders, we know that 8 times 7 is 56. So we begin to write in 56, 5 in the tens place, and again 6 in the ones place. Our final step is to come up with our solution. So we recognize in the ones place we now have 3. So we pull our 3 down to the ones place. Next we look in the tens place and we realize that we have 2 6's, and 6 plus 6 equals 12. So we write a 2 in the tens place and we carry up, right, our 1 all the way to the hundreds place. And now, in the hundreds place, we don't have just 5 hundreds, but we have 6 hundreds, because 5 plus 1 is 6. So we come up with our final solution, which is 623. Our product is 623. Let's take a look at another math problem. For instance, 61 times 5. Again, we create a cell, we write 61 at the top, and 5 on the side. We'll go ahead and split our cell in half because 61 is a 2-digit number. We draw dotted diagonal lines to create our place values, right? And the first math problem that we do is what is 1 times 5? This may be challenging because we haven't been introduced to a single-digit solution. So here we have 5, right? We don't have any 10s, but we have 5 1s. So in the 1's place, we write 5. In the 10's place, we write 0. Next, we have 6 times 5. What is 6 times 5? Well, quickly I know that that is simply 30. So I write 3 in the 10's place because I have 3 10s and 30 and 0 1s. Next, I just drop down my answers. 5 plus 0 is 5. 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 plus 0 is 3. My final solution is 305. With this next problem, we'll go ahead and set it up, and I'll ask that you please pause the video before we come up with a solution so that you can solve the problem and see how you're doing with lattice multiplication on your own without me walking you through it step by step. Again, draw your dotted lines, and after you have your dotted lines drawn and you write in 4 on the side, you may go ahead and pause this video and attempt the problem on your own. Our first step to solving this problem, and hopefully you guys got this correct, is multiply 3 times 4. That's 12. We have 2 1s and 1 10. Next we have 7 times 4, and 7 times 4 is 28. We have 8 1s and 2 10s. Next we have 6 times 4, and 6 times 4 is 24. So again, we have 2 10s and 4 1s. And our last step is to simply add our solutions up. We have 2, we have 1 plus 8, that's 9, 2 plus 4 is 6, and 2. Our final solution is 2,692. I know that this is new to you guys, but I hope that you guys did well. I'll go ahead and give you guys one last problem for you guys to pause and solve out on maybe a piece of paper or whiteboard and see how you guys did. So let's set up this problem. 34 times 26. And this will require us to create a little bit of a different box. Let me go ahead and get rid of this one and try again because we are multiplying a 2-digit number by another 2-digit number. So we'll write 34 at the top and 26 on the side, and we'll split this cell into 4 separate cells. And setting the problem up correctly will then ask us to take dotted lines and draw those from the top right hand corner all the way outside of all of our cells down to the bottom left. So go ahead and pause the video now as we begin to solve this problem. So the first step is multiplying 4 times 2, or 2 times 4, and that's just 8, no 10s and 8 1s. Next, you can really kind of go anywhere you would like to with this, but we'll go ahead and multiply 4 times 6, and 6 times 4, or 4 times 6, is 24. That's 2 10s and 4 1s. Our next step, again, we can take 3 and 2 and multiply those together. 3 times 2, that is 6. That is 0 10s and 6 1s. And our final step is to take 3 and 6 and multiply these two together. 6 times 3, or 3 times 6, that's 18. That's 1 10 and 8 1s. And finally, again, we add diagonally. So we've got our 1's place, our 10's place, our 100's place, and then on top we've got our 1000's place. And we add diagonally and make sure that we are putting a big emphasis on place value. So taking a look at our solution, we can get rid of these letters here, and we realize that in the 1's place we have 4, so we can go ahead and bring 4 out. Next we have 8 plus 2, that's 10, plus 8, that's 18. So we've got 8, and we carry a 1 into the 100's place. And 100 plus 600 plus 1 is 700. Oh, no, I've made a mistake here. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 1, that's 8. So again, Mr. Hack makes mistakes all the time. Make sure that we find our mistakes. That's important. So our final solution, as we can see, is 884. Again, lattice multiplication can seem intimidating at first, but I hope that you've got the hang of it. Don't worry about doing any math homework tonight. We will complete study link 5-7 in class. I hope that you guys feel confident about the tool that you have in your toolbox at this time, and can successfully multiply using all three methods now: partial products, the traditional US customary, and now the lattice method of multiplication. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you guys have a great night.